Okay, this is the Dare Show podcast where I talk anything that I want to talk about. You can find me on Instagram at mylovemyneedtonight. Um, so recently I was lured into purchasing and then reading Ladies Who Punch by Raheem Satuda. And oh wait, I wrote 3 pages of notes. So I'm like, where's the other one? And it was very interesting. I follow Kay Sherrill, aka My View on the View, oh, on YouTube, and she kept talking about it. So I'm like, let me get this book and read it for myself. And it's basically the Barbara Walters and Rosie show at the end of the day. Well, that's what people I think remember the View. That's what it's coming off of. This book is very like the Barbara Walters, Rosie O'Donnell show. Um, yeah. So, anyways, these are some things that I took away from it. And so Rosie is all throughout the book, whether it's talking about a director that was supposed to go to her show, talking about Rosie as a guest, Rosie, little excerpts into like how Rosie got on the show. Rosie is throughout the show, and that's what the first thing I really noticed. She's even in this like first when you open the book. Well, I didn't read the prologue or prelogue or something. One part I didn't read. Did I read the ending? I probably didn't even read the ending, the last part, because I was just like, okay, let me finish this. Um, Rosie says in the book, every person was fired except for her, and that's not true. This book takes you like in a deeper. Um, what do you guys think about the book? Let me know what you thought about the book. What do you guys think about the View? The View, I've always found it intriguing. I'm 28, and I've always found it intriguing. Growing up, I wasn't able to really watch it because I was in school. I don't remember like craziness. I think I remember like Whoopi being like on it in like 2007. But then like once I got to high school and was able to watch it, that's when like the shit show happened. It was like 2011, 14 is where like I really was like watching it a lot. And I was just like, it was weird. The changes were like weird. But anyway, so The View was very groundbreaking and revolutionary in the type of show that it was. Like there was no other show like on it. Well, there had been like iterations, not iterations. There had been like the he brought up like a Joan Rivers show, different like pilots. I think the Joan Rivers show with some other two ladies lasted for like 5 years. They went into yeah. It was this first like type talk show like ensemble talk show that was successful, I would say, because they talked about Ricky Lake and Oprah and Phil Donahue and um, Sally Jesse Raphael, like all these successful talk shows, but there wasn't an ensemble cast with women talking about um, uh, politics, a little bit of politics, and a little bit of pop culture. One thing about the 90s, pre The View, journalism was a serious career, as they say in the DMV. It was a serious career. And I'm shocked. It's not shocking. I don't know why I can't breathe all of a sudden. It was a serious career, and you did not mix your opinions as a journalist on things. You just gave facts. You gave the story. You gave it the way it's supposed to be, right? But you do not mix journalism and gossip or give your own opinions. And the fact that Barbara Walters was on, like, this was her show. I'm trying to, like, the feeling that I got, like, reading, like, the beginning of it was very much, it was Barbara Walters' show. Even though she wasn't the moderator, she was the face of it. I kind of thought Meredith Vieira was at least a little bit more popular than, or not a little bit more, but as I thought Meredith was well known, but maybe The View made her more well known than what she was as a moderator. So there was Meredith. But anyways, the show was Barbara Walters' show. And people watched because of Barbara Walters and her status in the television industry. Because she was so, as we know, as she passed away, everybody says she was so revolutionary. She was so a trailblazer. That's like all everybody ever said. And I think Meredith said she blazed the trails. And I was just like, oh my God. Is there any other adjective or any other word you could describe Barbara Walters other than a fucking trailblazer? Like, oh my God. Like, literally everybody said that in their tributes. And it was just like, okay, I'm going insane. It was her show, the name. But one thing about Barbara, why am I mixing up her name? She's very nurturing. They talk about her in like a nurturing way, in a positive way, but then there's also that negative way. I believe Star Jones really told the truth in this book. But my thing about just Star Jones, I'm just rambling. My thing about Star Jones is, did she tell the truth to the lady's face, to Bill Getty's face? That's what I really want to know. I feel like she told the truth. There wasn't a whole lot of joy talk. Star Jones had her own chapter, but Star wasn't really prominent in talking about the beginning. It was more like producers, a little bit of Barbara. Bill Getty was heavy. Meredith. And Joy was Um, so Barbara hustled to get stations to play The View, which is very funny. She like went everywhere, was talking to other directors, which is funny. I didn't realize this is what you kind of had to do back in the day. I think now it's probably a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different now, which is interesting. But the thing is, the network didn't even want to do The View. ABC didn't even want to do The View. But it's like every other show on that time slot that they had was a flop. It wasn't working. It was like, oh, there were flop shows. And so for them not to want to do The View and like at least give it a chance was, it's pretty crazy. Star was very adamant. I think I, I meant to reread that little part about her like sitting and waiting. I think they made it seem like they had found the group, but then Star wasn't in that group. So Star pushed her way and waited to be into that group with Meredith, Debbie. That's what they made it seem like. But her like adamancy and very like headstrong and confidence, really, they made that clear. Meredith wasn't sure that she wanted to do it. Like I said, I thought she was bigger than what she was. This whole like Debbie seat, right? Debbie wasn't a good co-host. She was very nervous. She was the youngest. She's the most inexperienced. Uh-oh. She was the most inexperienced. So Debbie Debbie's seat reminded me of like this the Hogwarts replacement, like how I think it's the Mystery of Magic. I mean, the Minister of no, no, not the Minister of Magic. Oh crap! Whatever teacher that kept going in and out because what's his name? Voldemort put a curse on the teacher. That's how I kind of feel like about my job. This one manager position is always like every 6 months, it's a new manager, it's a new manager, it's a new manager. And it's just like, is there a curse? Is there a Hogwarts curse at my job? But anyways, it seemed like a Hogwarts Voldemort curse on this seat because this conservative seat, or not, I wouldn't even say conservative seat, this ever changing seat of a lady being changed in and out is always happening on The View. And it's so weird. But anyways, Debbie wasn't she wasn't a good host. She was inexperienced. She was very nervous. She talked about her throwing up all the time. So they ended up firing her. But before they ended up firing her. I don't think Debbie, even like the little reunions that they've had, I don't think Debbie was that. I don't think that's her realm. Like she was like awkward at one of the reunions I was watching. She was very awkward, and it was like weird. And it's just like I think you're just here because you were just one of the first girls, but you're not contributing much value to this table. I know that's not nice to say, but that's how I feel. Um, I know Debbie Matenopoulos from E. Growing up watching E, she was on the Daily 10. I think she was on E News a little bit. But I know she was definitely on the Daily 10 as like an actual host with Sal and what's his name? The black dude. The black dude with the locks, not the dreads. Or is it dreadlocks? Okay, whatever. Sal and I'm forgetting his name, but anyways, it was Debbie, Sal, and the black dude, and they hosted the Daily 10, which is like a spinoff of E News. And then they canceled E News, and I mean they canceled the Daily 10 and made E News a full fucking hour with Ryan and Juliana. Oh, we're going back in the day, baby. But I feel like that was her rep. Like I know her from there, and I feel like memory serves me correct. She was very good on that part. She was very good. That was her role, her hosting role, and that's why I was very shocked to realize that Debbie from E News and the Daily 10 was Debbie from like the original cast on The View. I was just like, wow. But anyways, that's all I want to say about Debbie. Oh, Debbie and Star were very good friends. But Debbie felt when she got fired, Debbie felt like Star wasn't batting for her, wasn't being a good friend, but they were like really tight, doing everything together. And then they hadn't talked for like 17 years after she got axed off the show, which is crazy. And they all like Bill Getty brings them into their office or he goes into theirs and he's talking. But anyways, I feel like they always treated Joy like a stepchild. Joy from the beginning wasn't there. Um, Joy is hilarious. Joy Behar is hilarious. Joy Behar is what am I trying to say? She's just absolutely funny. Like her jokes in the book, hilarious. Talking about like when when Rosie was hired, she was like, I go unconscious when I'm shopping, and they were shopping in Vegas, and she's like, I go unconscious when I'm shopping, and a producer had came up and told me that Rosie was being hired, and so then I see Entertainment Weekly, and they shove a camera in my face, and they say, "How do you feel about Rosie being hired?" And she's like, "Oh, I feel it's amazing. It's great news or whatever." And so she had like confirmed it, and then she gets back to her hotel room, and Barbara calls her, and she's like, "Guess who told me? Guess who I found out just told us that Rosie was hired. You're supposed to keep this a secret." She's like, "Who? Meredith Vieira?" Like Joy is hilarious. It was hilarious. Joy's little jokes. I mean, Joy's just eternally funny, and I just even today, Joy is very funny. But they treated her like a stepchild, I feel like. And I feel like she played her part, but they could have valued her a little bit more. I guess maybe now she's getting a little bit more value. But she wasn't there in the beginning with the original cast for like I think like a year or two. She did like spot days. She was an official host because Barbara felt like she was taking her spot, but it's like Barbara, you're not a comedian. Go sit down somewhere. Um, but then she ended up being a full co-host. But I just feel like they treated her like the unwanted stepchild or something. After Debbie was fired, they did this search, very much like a reality show. And I think like the only like contest entertainment reality show at the time was Star Search before American Idol. But this was like the first like reality show. And then I didn't even realize that's how they found Lisa Ling. I think Lisa Ling was like just so happened to be in the running. I think she was like the last person that they had quote unquote auditioned. And it's funny that they call it audition when um Barbara's book is called Audition. What the hell is with my speech? Yeah, so that's funny. But anyways, it was like this reality show, and it brought me like thinking about like the housewives because they were like Star made it clear you had to talk about your personal life. You had to expose your personal life. And Lisa Ling is at the time was very conservative. She was like her first day, she was like embarrassed about talking about if she was a virgin or not, and like her conservative Asian family, and at least her words, not mine. So that's what got her fired. Like she was good at like the news stuff. They also didn't like feel like they took her seriously as a journalist. She was good at the news stuff, but like pop culture stuff and like exposing her life, she wasn't good at. And so Bill Getty called her in her office and gave her the axe. So then they went on to talk about um looking for a new woman, looking for a new co-host. And it went from looking for a new co-host to looking for like a conservative co-host. And it was just like the way he transitioned that was poorly in the book. And it was just like, okay. So we went from looking for a co-host to like a conservative Republican because Bill Getty says, well, I don't know. I don't remember if he said it, but I remember reading like in the book, they were like, Bill Getty is a Republican, and he felt like his views as a Republican wasn't expressed on the show enough. So they needed a conservative woman, a conservative seat, a Republican to do such a thing. So that's how this conservative seat was created. Star Jones gets her own chapter in the book. They talk about the wedding, um, how nice she was to this one lady, this one viewer, which was so it was such a cute moment. She had like she had won a contest or something, and Star was doing it up with her endorsements with Payless and such, and she brought the lady to like this dinner where she had like or this party or something where she had met her husband, How You Doing Reynolds, and has a big booty now. I'm just like, how did that happen? But anyways, Al Reynolds and Star had that wedding, and then the lady had Star invited the lady to her wedding. Star had paid for like her hotel, everything. It was just like, whoa, that was a cute twist to like this other star moment that the book was portraying as like a diva, or not even like a diva, like just a freeloader. This one excerpt talking about Star, you know how they do like free stuff on the show. Star had her cousins. I just cracked over this part. Star had her cousins like shovel, get a van, and then they waited outside. And they took all the free stuff in the van, and everybody was like, didn't get the free stuff except for Star's cousin. I was just like, what? This is so ghetto. Like, you could take the girl out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the girl. She's from New Jersey. Star's Splabuvian antics. If you don't know what a Splabu is allegedly what Michael Jackson called black people. Star's Splabuvian antics about the wedding and her like trying to get like the free stuff. Star defended it down to the core. She was like, I can't get free stuff from everybody because, and it wasn't, no. The issue was the network didn't know she was doing it, but she was like, in order for me to do anything on TV, you have to put everything in the credits. So she was like, I didn't get anything that much for free. I don't know what to believe on that part. I kind of believe Star, but it's like, it's confusing because Star made a good point, but she also is a lawyer. What do you guys think? Did Star get free stuff from that wedding? I know everybody was tired of her talking about the wedding, making the wedding this like big free show. But her and David Tutera, her wedding coordinator, he said and she said they did not get everything for free. I think it was like a good 80% stuff they paid for. Then Star would invite producers that helped her allegedly, quote unquote, get the stuff for free on to the like they made the wedding a big segment each day or week or something on the show. Just craziness, you guys. But anyways, what am I trying to say? Star had it invited. Star didn't invite the producers who helped her on the show. And so they showed up to like I was about to say the baby show, the bridal shower, but I'm like, she didn't send out invites before the bridal shower. Like I feel like bridal showers are close to the wedding. It's like y'all didn't know y'all were coming or not. Like what a mess. What a mess. What a mess. Our cousins. The viewers started to not like Star because of that. Also, Star had like got that surgery, and for some reason, I don't know. I guess it's embarrassment. That's the only reason why I could think of. Star talking about I don't want to talk about how I lost the weight, and everybody like lied, and she was like Pilates and exercise and diet and Jesus, and so everybody was talking about how she lost the media was talking about how she lost the weight, but the viewers felt like she wasn't being true and being honest, and so they started like disconnecting from this lady who they had actually connected with because of her truth and her struggles. Star's firing is really excuse me. Star and Rosie's firing are probably like the biggest wowzers. Because Star was like there was rumors going around about Star being fired in the media. I believe Star. I'm gonna say that first of all. Rumors going on about Star being fired. First of all, Barbara Walters was lying all day throughout the View. Oh wait, did we get anywhere? Lisa Ling was fired. Oh, Lisa Ling was fired, and they hired Elizabeth Hasselbeck, who at first I don't think every no. I think towards the middle to end of her career on the View, everybody was like, eh. Okay. Okay. Let me calm down. Star. There was rumors about Star being fired in the media, and so Star ended up. They ended up telling Star, "Okay, we're not going to renew your contract." Star wanted to get ahead of the story, um, and get ahead of her firing. I think they had placed a date to announce her she was leaving so she could find a quote unquote new job. That was like the biggest like thing, which was so confusing. Like, also, I don't think TV is paying that much, or The View. They're not paying that much. I think maybe Rosie got paid a lot. They never talk about Barbara Walters' salary, or the book never talked about BW's salary. But I think Rosie maybe had gotten paid a lot. Maybe Meredith had got paid a lot. Other than that, I really don't know. But I know coming off of what like Whoopi, I've heard about Whoopi, what Sonny Hostin recently said. I feel like The View is not paying a lot, and it's weird. I'm paying as much as we think. Maybe I'll say that. Um, Star wanted to get ahead of it, so she called a crisis manager who ended up being the lady who inspired the show Scandal and the Olivia Pope crisis manager fix everything type of situation. She called her and she was like, Star, what do you want to do? How do you want to be remembered in 10 years? And she's like, I want to be remembered as a person who took control of their destiny, their career, a confident person. So she's like, okay, go on there and tell them you're leaving today. So prior to this day, Bill Getty was saying they had planned out how she wanted to go because Star is a perfectionist. She's very detail oriented. I think she's a Scorpio. But Star knows what she wants. And this is how they were going to set up her ending date, her last day. Because I don't think they hadn't told everybody. So Star, of course, gets on TV in her pink suit. Star looked delicious. Her face was serving face. She looked really great. And after the commercial, she was like, "Y'all, I want to say after much prayer and counsel." And I was like, literally, those are like iconic words. After much prayer and counsel, I have decided that this is my last day. And everybody is like, oh my, like crazy. It's hilarious. It's actually really funny watching the video because then Joy's like, I can't believe you're saying this today. I can't believe you're saying this. You're saying this today. Barbara Walter is looking down, holding her hand. Just hilarity. So she ends up leaving, blah, 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 shocking everybody. She leaves the next day. Barbara's lying, saying we wanted to protect her. Um, we wanted to make sure she had employment before she left. And it's just like, why is that so important that you need to announce where you're going next? I guess like maybe that's the television thing, but it's like, why do you need to announce that you're leaving? So Star was fired. Meredith. I don't think Meredith was fired. Meredith, I believe, throughout the entirety of her career on The View, she acted like she didn't want to be there or like she wasn't completely sure about what she wanted to do. And so Meredith was like, it was time to renew her contract, and I think she didn't want to renew it. The Today Show, the NBC president was talking to her about going to the news, the morning news. She had already been doing How to Be a Millionaire. He piped up this deal, and she took it. So I don't think she was fired. I think she left. I think, yeah, she was tired of things. Things were changing. It just felt weird and not familiar. So Meredith left. I don't think she was fired. I think she was the only ones that quitted. And I think Rosie O'Donnell has a fuzzy memory about how things ended with her. So that's part one. It's 30 minutes. Enjoy. I'm going to come back and talk about Rosie and Whoopi and that whole season. Adios.